When you're a corrupt politician, you need law enforcement to help cover your illegal actions. And one way to do that is by creating your very own law enforcement agency, just as Kamala Harris did with the help of the Department of Justice. According to the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, letters from the Masonic Fraternal Police Department, or MFPD, began arriving at various law enforcement agencies throughout Southern California in January 2015. The letters stated that a new chief of the MFPD had been elected. These letters were then followed up by Kamala Harris's aide and community affairs liaison, then 31-year-old Brandon Keel. Mr. Keel identified himself to California law enforcement as a federal officer with the Department of Justice and a member of then Attorney General Kamala Harris's staff. He also stated that he was a member of the MFPD, referring to himself as Chief Deputy Director. Mr. Keel then requested in-person meetings with each agency's chief or sheriff. It is unknown exactly how many of the statewide agencies followed up with a meeting. But when LA County Sheriff's Captain Roosevelt Johnson of Santa Clarita met with the three representatives of the MFPD, in which two of the members were dressed in law enforcement uniforms he did not recognize, he knew something was not right. Their meeting lasted all of 45 minutes, and after the three, who were later identified as Brandon Keel, then 46-year-old David Henry, who was introduced as the new chief of the MFPD, and 56-year-old Tanette Hayes, left the meeting, the captain immediately ordered his deputies to pull the video surveillance from the station's security cameras so they could have images of the three. He also assigned investigators to look into this new law enforcement agency. On April 29, 2015, the trio were arrested and two locations were searched, where law enforcement found badges, ID cards, weapons, uniforms, and even police-type vehicles with law enforcement equipment inside. Further investigations found ties between the trio and several Democrat leaders. A private investigator in the Los Angeles area confirmed the three had been present at various law enforcement functions in which they were invited by Harris's office to attend, including a political gathering where Maxine Waters and Brandon Keel spoke about the MFPD to the group. In a video from the event posted online, Brandon Keel, Kamala Harris's aide, stated that the Attorney General appointed me. I have her authority, and goes on to state that he was recommended for the post of the MFPD by Democrat Senator Dianne Feinstein. Keel also stated in the video that one of the MFPD's goals was to be smart on crime and not tough on crime. In a video posted online, David Henry speaks ominously of his impending assassination and calls out to his political and criminal friends by name, including Kamala Harris and the Department of Justice, to stop his murder. Unfortunately for him, he was silenced on the very first day he appeared in court to face justice. Here's David's calls for help before he mysteriously died.
Our lives have been threatened by the LA Sheriff's Department. Detective Amelia Hernandez put a hit out on me, Grandmaster David Henry, Reverend Tanette Hayes, and Brandon Keel. Please understand what you have done. I alerted everyone, from the President of the United States to the U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch and to California Attorney General Kamala Harris. I alerted everyone because they need to know the corruption of the Los Angeles Sheriff Department. Not all the deputies are bad, but just this particular group, Amelia Hernandez and her group, her clique. What I am saying is they threaten to kill us by pulling us over or detaining us and taking us to one of their locations and killing us. So this is what the sheriff department is doing. How do we know this? Because we have members, Masonic members who are LA sheriff deputies, and they've been there for a long time, who have told us this. But what I'm saying is, this isn't good. So I notified everyone. I'm telling my members, my jurisdictions. I'm telling my Masonic orders. I'm telling the Illuminati. I'm telling the Knights Templars, not in the U.S., over in Mexico. I'm telling our gangbangers out there, please understand your obligation and what my obligation was to you when you needed me. So now I need you, every one of you, to keep an eye out and keep your ears open, because they are trying to kill us. This will not be good. So just killing us, having 3 black folks just stretched out, or maybe Detective Amelia Hernandez wants to kill us one by one. Now, come on now. All of this because I started a black police department? Or was the plan with the LA Sheriff Department and the LA Times, along with Leroy Guillory?
After David Henry's death, all charges were dropped against Keel and Hayes, and despite their crimes, they were allowed to walk free without delivering justice, as one would expect from an attorney general with integrity, and not one who covers for their corrupt political cronies. The entire case was cast aside by most news agencies, while some reported a short story about the case and moved on. Not one investigation dug into where all that law enforcement equipment came from and why the trio was even allowed on various public platforms with real law enforcement officers, giving them credibility within the law enforcement community. And without a real and full investigation on the facts, those facts die with David Henry and Kamala Harris's illegal MFPD. And we'll return after this message.